Christmas in America has long been about receiving presents from Santa for being nice, or at worst, getting a lump of coal for being naughty. Though jolly Saint Nicholas has long been a staple, the holiday season has historically had a sinister side across Europe. In pagan and other pre-Christian traditions, legends arose of mythical beings who emerged during the long nights around the solstice to dole out more extreme punishments to those who weren't on their best behavior. Here are a few stories of characters that have haunted Europeans for longer than America has been a country. Krampus. Krampus is the devilish companion of Saint Nicholas. Krampus is a Central European popular legend, a half-goat, half-demon monster that punishes misbehaving children at Christmas time. Krampus is believed to have originated in Germany, and his name derives from the German word Krampen, which means claw. This is fitting, considering Krampus's depiction as a beastly creature with long, taloned fingers, always eager to snatch away mischievous children. Krampus was thought to have been part of pagan rituals for the winter solstice. According to legend, he is the son of Hel, the Norse goddess of the underworld. With the spread of Christianity, Krampus became associated with Christmas despite efforts by the Catholic Church to ban him. The creature and Saint Nicholas are said to arrive on the evening of December 5th, also known as Krampus Night. While Saint Nicholas rewards nice children by leaving presents, Krampus beats those who are naughty with branches and sticks. In some cases, he is said to eat them or take them to hell. On December 6th, Saint Nicholas Day, children awaken to find their gifts or nurse their injuries. Krampus does have a weakness, however. If given a piece of fruit, typically an apple or an orange, by a child, he will sit down to eat the gift, sharing it with whomever is there, and engage in polite conversation. Krampus will then leave the area, harming no one. Festivities involving Krampus include the Krampus Run. In this activity, which often involves alcohol, people dressed as the creature parade through streets, scaring spectators and sometimes chasing them. Beginning in the late 20th century, amid efforts to preserve cultural heritage, Krampus runs became increasingly popular in Austria and Germany. During this time, Krampus began to be celebrated internationally, and the monster's growing appeal was evidenced by numerous horror films. Some claim that the expanding popularity of Krampus was a reaction to the commercialization of Christmas. Krampus's tale is a testament to the enduring power of folklore and the human fascination with the dichotomies of good and evil, light and dark. The story, having journeyed from ancient alpine villages to modern cities like Columbus, underscores the timeless appeal of a good, chilling tale, especially during the warm and cozy Christmas season. This alpine legend is the original Bad Santa. Ule and the Ule Lads. The Ule Lads are the sons of Ule and Lepelei. They are a group of 13 mischievous pranksters who steal from or otherwise harass the population. They are depicted as living together as a family in a cave. Some stories also say they live with a cat called the Ule Cat, Jalactor, or the Christmas cat. Ule, an ogress with an appetite for the flesh of mischievous children, whom she cooks in a large pot. Her husband, Lepelei, is lazy and mostly stays at home in their cave. The oldest poems about Ule describe her as a parasitic beggar. She walks around asking parents to give her their disobedient children. Her plans can be thwarted by giving her food or chasing her away. Originally, she lived in a small cottage, but in later poems, she appears to have been forced out of town and into a remote cave. These Christmas-related folktales first appeared around the 17th century and displayed some variation based on region and age. In modern times, these characters have taken on slightly more benevolent roles. Each Ule Lad has a descriptive name to convey their favorite way of causing mischief. Sheepcoat Claude harasses sheep but is impaired by his stiff peg legs. Gully Gawk hides in gullies, waiting for an opportunity to sneak into the cowshed and steal milk. Stubby, abnormally short, steals pans for the food baked to the bottoms and brims. Spoon licker, steals wooden spoons being used for cooking, extremely thin from malnutrition. Pot scraper, steals pots to scrape out the leftovers. Bowl licker, hides under beds awaiting the wooden food bowls placed on the floor. Door slammer, enjoys slamming doors, especially during the night, waking up the household. Skyr gobbler, has a great affinity for skyr, a regional style of yogurt. Sausage swiper, hides in the rafters and snatches sausages that are being smoked. Window peeper, a snoop who looks through windows in search of things to steal. Doorway sniffer, has an abnormally large nose and an acute sense of smell, which he uses to locate leaf bread. Meat hook, uses a hook to steal meat. Candle beggar, follows children to steal their precious candles, made of tallow and thus edible. They arrive one by one over the 13 nights leading up to Christmas or Yule. They leave small gifts and shoes that children place on windowsills, although a disobedient child will instead find a rotten potato in their shoe. Much like their mother, the Ule Lads were originally portrayed by J.N. Renaison not as gift givers but as kidnappers of children who misbehaved during the Christmas season, along with their usual prankster activities. In modern times, the Ule Lads have also been depicted in a more benevolent role, comparable to Santa Claus and other related figures. While each of them is still associated with a characteristic prank, some stories describe only 9 Ule Lads. Most of the obscure Ule Lads fall into 3 groups. Those who steal food, those who like to play tricks or harass, and those who seem to be a delusion from nature. For example, Gully Gawk, who just hides in gullies. A folk tale particular to eastern Iceland described the Ule Lads originating from the ocean rather than the mountains. Each Ule Lad arrives individually and stays for a visit of 13 days, starting on the 12th of December. Once the first lad departs on Christmas Day, the rest follow suit each day through the 6th of January. Fraperta. Many children grow up thinking that the worst thing they could wake up to on Christmas morning is a lump of coal in their stocking. Those from southern Germany and Austria know better, however, having grown up with the tale of Frau Perchta. Perchta is said to prowl the Alps during the 12 days of Christmas. On the last night, the eve of Epiphany, she creeps into homes to leave silver coins in good children's shoes and slit the stomachs of the naughty, particularly the lazy, adults included. She then replaces their insides with straw, stones, and sometimes waste. Descriptions of Frau Perchta vary. Once believed to be a goddess, she's been depicted as both tall and womanly and grotesque and demonic, with features like horns, an enlarged foot, and a beak-like nose. In some stories, she switches between the 2 forms. Jacob Grimm, of Brothers Grimm fame, popularized the legend of Frau Perchta in the 19th century, linking the figure back to 10th century lore. The Ule Cat. The Ule Cat, also called J-Lactor and Christmas cat, is a huge, vicious cat from Icelandic Christmas folklore that is said to lurk in the snowy countryside during the Christmas season and eat people who do not receive new clothing before Christmas Eve. In other versions of the story, the cat just eats the food of people without new clothes. J-Lactorin is closely associated with other figures from Icelandic folklore, considered the pet of the ogress Gryla and her sons, the Ule Lads. The first definitive mention of the Ule Cat is from an 1862 collection of folklore by J.N. Renaison. It was described as an evil beast that would either eat those who did not get new clothes for Christmas, or eat their Christmas bit, an extra portion of food given to residents of a farm. The Ule Cat was traditionally used as a threat and incentive for farm workers to finish processing the wool collected in the autumn before Christmas. Those who took part in the work were rewarded with new clothes, but those who did not would get nothing, and thus would be prey for the Ule Cat. The establishment of the Ule Cat as part of classic Icelandic Christmas folklore came in 1932, When J. Hans Arctilum published his poetry collection Christmas is Coming, one of the poems centered on the eponymous man-eating monster which subsequently became a common part of Christmas festivities and decorations in Iceland. While the poem did not associate J. Lacturin with Gryla, Lepeli, or the Ule Lads, the characters were also featured in the collection. This commonality led to connections in later stories. By the middle of the 20th century, the Ule Cat was considered the pet of Gryla and her sons. In some later stories, the Ule Cat is so disobedient that only Stubby, the smallest Ule Lad, is able to direct it, and he rides the cat across the countryside.